Aha! Now it's working. Hello, hello, hello. How is my volume? Let's check. Volume settings. Microphone. Hey, Lectu. Hey, Luke's Place. How are you doing today? I am seen and I am heard. Mission accomplished. I can go now. Just adjusting my chair a little. There you go. Hello, everybody. Rainers, Lucas, Lectu. Welcome to this very special live stream today. Um, I do want to start with a small disclaimer. I am feeling a little bit sick, so apologies if I do appear a little bit tired or even incoherent. We'll see. Hopefully not, but I do feel a little bit sick, so hopefully it won't affect us. But now you know, at least, in case I do feel a little bit lost at some point, you'll know why. Thank you, Lucas. Very kind of you. All right. So today we are going to be celebrating um, the fourth anniversary of the Forge. So it is a little bit of a special live stream. Usually we do our developer updates, but today is more about the celebration of the 4 years of the Forge. It is surprising. It is hard to believe that it has been 4 years already. It has gone by so fast. It's really hard to believe. Um, uh, Let me see. So, sorry, I got a notification on Discord. I was like, "What's happening?" And no, it's just the announcements about the actual live stream that posted. All right. So, um, 4 years. It's very hard to believe. Honestly, I feel like it's like I just can't believe that it's been 4 years. Time has passed so fast, but at the same time, and looking at it, it feels like forever. But it's a very weird paradoxical feeling. But anyway, thank you everybody for coming out, for being here with us, and coming to celebrate with us this amazing anniversary of 4 years of the Forge, since its first public release. Um, uh, for everybody to subscribe and enjoy their Forge services. Obviously, you can guess it. Things have changed quite a lot in 4 years, and we'll be going over that a little bit, um, as well as doing a cool little game. You'll see. But I recommend everybody stay tuned to through the whole live stream, because we will be giving away a $50 gift card to whoever wins the giveaway and sticks until the end of this live stream. Usually we give out $20 gift cards, but today we're celebrating, so a $50 card sounds more appropriate. But that is not all. We'll also be giving multiple $10 gift cards to whoever is the first to respond to some trivia questions. So that's going to be a fun little game that we'll be doing. First of all, you can type hashtag anniversary in the chat to enter into the current giveaway, and then we'll do the trivia in just a few seconds or minutes. I don't know. But there you go. First, no hashtag, not a bang. So hashtag anniversary. Thank you, Mubat. So Mubat is letting everybody know about the anniversary giveaway. There you go. People entering. Awesome. Good luck, everybody. I hope you all win that 3LMA. Sorry, I was a bit distracted by someone's username. All right, let's get this started. Let's do the trivia. And so for the trivia, the rules are simple. I'll ask a question. It's going to be Forge related or Foundry related. The first person to answer, and that's going to be based on what I see appearing in my chat. All right, so it, there's maybe I don't know exactly how Twitch works exactly, but there is potentially possibility that you post something, but it doesn't appear on your side as the first response, but it does appear on my side, depending on race conditions basically. But yeah, we'll be looking on our side on whoever is the first person to respond to a question. Um, and give the correct response, obviously, and from there we'll give out the $10 gift card to the winner. Destiny Gray will be sending you the gift card via a private message, so hopefully you have the ability to receive private messages on Twitch. And yeah, let's get started. Let me see. I would still to maybe try and play a little bit of music. Okay, let me stop this other music. Mm, 1 second. There you go. Is this better? Is the audio a little too high, maybe? Let me drop that a little bit. Okay, how's the volume? How's the music for the trivia? All good? There you go. All right, let me make sure that the video is set to loop. There you go. I'll just lower the volume on my side because I want to hear myself thinking. All right, so the first question, and it's maybe an obvious one, but it's also a trick question. So, when was the Forge's um, exact release date to the public? Who can answer that? It's a little too quiet now. Lucas is first to answer, but that is not the correct answer. Wait, no, you said May 21st. That actually is the correct answer. Sorry, I got distracted there for just a little second. Yes, Lucas, it is May 21st, the actual anniversary of the Forge. Um, hey, D&D population me is here. Sorry, I'll celebrate you here in a second. First, Lucas, congratulations. That is correct. May 21st is the official release of the Forge to the public, where people have been able to just go on the website and subscribe. This marked the date where we moved from being, like an early preview through Patreon into being an actual, full website where people can enter their credit card information and subscribe directly on the website, and it stopped being a Patreon early access kind of thing. May 21st 2020. Wow. Yes, Lucas gets the $10 gift card for being the first to respond to that. And Destiny, I trust that you'll be the one handling that. And uh, yeah, now going back to D&D Population Me, who I saw just posted a message there. That's Kevin. Super happy to see you here. We haven't seen you in a long time. Kevin has been with the Forge for a very, very long time. He provided us with some really cool advice and feedback on the very first iteration of the Forge, even before May 21st, 2020. He was part of the Patreon um, supporters who had early access to the Forge, and I remember he helped out quite a bit also with tech support, and eventually became, I believe, the second staff member of the Forge after Zlatan, and he left us a little while ago uh, to pursue other horizons in his career, and I'm really happy to see you here. Hi, Kevin. I hope you're doing great, and I'm happy to see you. All right, let's do second question of the trivia. How many staff members does the Forge currently have? Wait, who can answer this one? Lektu answered with 15. Sir Robin got a wrong response of 6, but Lectu is the one with the correct response. It is currently 15. Zlatan saying he doesn't even know. Actually, that's also a very good response, Zlatan, because I also don't even know half the time. But yes, no, the correct answer is 15 indeed. We can see, actually, let me just go scroll all the way to the bottom, and we have our team here. And you can see the list of here there's 14 people, but the 15th person has been hired recently, uh, last week actually, and we just haven't had the time yet to add them to the list, but it is 15 in total. And you can see all of the staff members on the about page on the Forge. Yes, I did say it in a previous stream. Yeah, it was actually a little bit of a trick because we got a new person joining and we were going to be 16, but we also got a person leaving. And their last day was Friday, so it's back to 15. So, yes, it is 15 at the moment. All right. So Lectu is gonna get his $10 gift card. Congratulations, and thank you for knowing that. All right. Third question: when, and this one might be a little bit difficult. When did Foundry VTT first add support for measured templates? Can anyone figure out the actual version number where measured templates were first added to Foundry VTT? And if you feel the need to Google or to look up online for the answer, uh, do so. But if someone already knows the answer right away, and they don't need to Google it, then they might win. Alright. I like the music. That was a good choice, Destiny, for trivia ambiance. And yes, Kevin, it has grown so much with 15 people now. That's why every time I keep forgetting uh, how many people we are. Ooh, the illogical bear asking a question. I will answer that question while people are probably frantically looking up the answer for when did Foundry add support for measured templates. Um, oh, I did forget to mention one thing. Let me just check the rules that we had set beforehand. Um, right, so the first person to answer the question gets the gift card. Each person, oh yeah, I did forget to read this. Sorry about it. Each person is eligible to win up to twice. So uh, we obviously don't want someone to just take everything. So, but at the same time, we don't want someone who wins to not be able to participate anymore. So you can win up to twice. So those who have already won, Lucas and Lectu, feel free to still look up an answer for that. But yeah, after winning 2 times, leave the chance for the others. And yeah, feel free to look stuff up. And yes, I believe that is all the rules. Release 0.1.5 from Jidham. Oh, Jid Hamster. And Destiny is responding with yes, that is indeed the correct response. So congratulations, Jitty Hamster 95 on that. Uh, yes, it was in version 0.1.5, the alpha release of Foundry. It was actually before I started using Foundry because I believe I started at 0.3.0. I came into the Foundry community when it was still on Patreon, and that was 0.2 something. And then within, I believe, the same week that I joined the Patreon, 0.3.0 was released. Um, and it already had support for measured templates and walls, which to me was the killer feature. Not walls, doors. I mean, I really loved the ability for players to open and close doors without the GM having to move walls around. But measured templates was even from before then. It was in 0.1.5, the alpha release. Um, It looked and functioned very differently to what you think Foundry looks like right now, but it still had already quite a lot of potential, and you could run a map that was, much larger than you could realistically run in any of the other VTT software at the time, and it functioned a lot smoother as well, and especially compared to Roll20, which at the time was one of the only VTTs more or less. There was, Roll20 and there was Fantasy Grounds, and Foundry was just starting out. Um, yeah, so congratulations on uh, GD GD Hamster. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Sorry. Um, and congrats on getting the right answer. I assume that was some very fast online search, and you get your $10 gift card from Destiny, who I assume has already sent it. All right. Oh, I do want to answer the question that was asked by Theological Brer. What inspired the making of the Forge? It's a great question. What inspired the making of the Forge? Back in September 2019 was when the idea first sparked, and one of the big issues that I remember people were complaining about in Discord and things like that was the fact that you could, like, if you had two different campaigns, you had to manually switch from one world to the other, and it was really annoying some people who had multiple games and they didn't want to keep switching from one world to the other, or they forgot their game on a specific world, so their players were complaining that they couldn't log in into the game because it was not the right world. So you always had to do return to setup and launch the correct world after every session. And that was very annoying to people, and I remember that being a problem, and I thought, how can I resolve that situation? That's when I came up with this idea of being able to detect kind of like the URL you're going to and launching Foundry with a different world each time, so you could switch, close the old Foundry, open the new one based on who is trying to access it based on the URL. You probably recognize that as the functionality of the game manager, which is available to storyteller users and world builder users on the Forge. But that was the original idea. I was trying to, like, how can I make this work? And then I actually made it work, and the whole Forge as a business grew from that solution, basically. Um, Destiny Crazy saying map tools technically existed, but honestly, even in Alpha, Foundry VTT was just far easier to run. Yes, I don't really count map tools because it's not very good VTT from what I've seen of it, and it's not very popular, even if it existed from before. Yeah. All right. Next trivia item. So we are at the fifth question, and we do have 7 questions total. Uh, no, fourth question. Sorry. So we still have 4 questions total to go through now. So what is the third most installed system on Foundry VTT according to Forge numbers? So you can find that information on the bazaar based on popularity. But what is the third, not the first, not the second, but the third most installed system um, on Foundry VTT? Who has the answer? Sir Robin is saying Starfinder First Edition. I do not believe that to be the correct answer. It is a good guess, however. Anyone else wants to give it a try? Dinesh is saying Pathfinder 1E, Rayners is saying Dragonbane, and both answers are actually incorrect. You can always go and check on the bazaar, right? You can go to the bazaar, look for systems, and check based on the popularity Yes, you can certainly guess again. What is the third most popular system on Foundry VTT based on number of installs? And we have Rainers 78 answering Call of Cthulhu, which is indeed the correct answer. I'm just gonna show you here. Going to the bazaar, selecting systems. I just chose it from this preset here, Foundry system, and then sorted by install. So you can see Dungeons and Dragons is the most popular. You have Pathfinder 2nd edition as the second most popular. Then you have Call of Cthulhu 7th edition as the third most popular game system on Foundry VTT based on our installation numbers. Then you have Starfinder, Warhammer, and Savage Worlds, then Pathfinder First E, etc., etc. But yes, the third most popular one is Call of Cthulhu, 7th edition, and Rainers 78 was the first one to respond with the correct answer. So congratulations, Rainers, for giving this trivia question. Forgetting it. All right. Congrats. And now we are moving to the fifth question. What is the most installed non-system package on the Forge? All right. So what is the most popular package on the Forge that is not a game system? Who knows the answer to that? There you go. Dinesh and Sir Robin both answering Dice So Nice. But Dinesh was the first one, according to what I'm seeing here on my chat. Dinesh M is the first to respond with Dice So Nice, and that is the correct answer. Dice So Nice is an amazing, amazing module. So let me see if we're looking for free modules here and sorted by relevance, but by installs as well. Dice So Nice installed in nearly 70% of games. Um, yeah, Dice So Nice, an absolutely magnificent, well put together module that just enhances the gaming experience for everybody. So, yay. Congratulations, Dinesh, for answering that. And that was also very smart to just type DSN. So you can type faster, that 1 second faster than Sir Robin to get in the answer out. All right. Congratulations, Dinesh, for answering our fifth question of the trivia. And now getting to the sixth question. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a difficult question or a very easy one, depending on how much you follow and understand the Forge. All right, so what Canadian province is the Forge officially based out of? I'll repeat the question. What Canadian province is the Forge officially based out of? Right, so who can be the first to answer with the Canadian province where the Forge business is registered and operating from? Sir Robin doesn't know, and he's saying Saskatchewan. Unfortunately, that is not the correct answer. Who else wants to venture a guess? Destiny's saying whenever he hears Saskatchewan, he just imagines that's where Sasquatch live. Um, that's funny. You can ask Renzel if that is true or not. Theological Bear answering Montreal. I did ask about the province, not the city. Though you are on the right track. Electu answering Manitoba, which is a province, but not the correct one. All right, so I wasn't sure if people were going to get it immediately or not, but apparently People are not getting the answer immediately. And ooh, Lectu answered Quebec, and Theological Bear answered Quebec if just 1 second later. And Lectu is the winner on this one. And I am sorry, Theological Bear, you were so close, especially because you answered Montreal at the beginning. But yeah, I think what I'm gonna do, just because it's a celebration today, I'm gonna get a $10 gift card to both Theological Bear and Lectu. Lectu for being the first one to answer Quebec, and Theological Bear because you were so close to answering at the same time, but also because you said Montreal um, earlier. Yes. Oh, Lectu, so nice saying to give the prize to Bear, but that's okay. You both get the prize. Don't worry about it. Awesome. All right. And no, Lectu, you do deserve it. That's just how the game is played. All right. And so, congratulations to both of you. And congrats, Theological Bear, for knowing even the city, Montreal, where I am actually based out of, and that's where the Forge is registered. It is a Quebec company. All right. And now, lucky number 7. That's the final question. And this one, I don't know who might know the answer to that, but I do know that I have given this answer in a previous live stream, so it depends on how often you follow the live streams and how close you've been listening. What is Kakaroto's? That's me. So what is my favorite dessert? That's a tough one. Although to be fair, there's only one dessert that is worth uh, mentioning. Whoa, Tupper Harley 70 immediately with the answer cheesecake. That is the correct answer. Congratulations. Tupper Harley 70 very quickly coming up with the answer cheesecake. I don't know if that's because you remember me saying it or just because it is the very best dessert out there. So it was the logical and only possible answer. But congratulations, Topper Harley. You have won the last gift card with your answer of cheesecake to the very most important question of what is my favorite dessert. All right. And that is the end of the trivia. I hope you all had fun um, answering those questions or attempting to. And congratulations to all winners. And thank you for everybody who participated in the trivia. And yeah, there you go. Reminder that if you have not won, you can still win the $50 gift card that will be drawn at the end of the live stream. And if you have not done so already, make sure that you enter the live stream's giveaway by typing hashtag anniversary into the chat and stick with us until the end in order to be able to receive the gift card if you are the winner. All right, let me stop this music. Yeah, what's it called? Music. Let me put on the other music that we usually play as background music. There you go. All right. Well, I hope everybody had fun. I certainly had. It was cool to see people searching frantically or knowing the answer right away. It was fun to see that, and I'm happy that everybody was participating, um, and that so many different people got to win something. All right, thank you all. Now let's get on into the sort of news slash announcements part of the stream. Um, a quick little announcement. So we are looking for a new senior DevOps engineer. We did have a posting a few months ago about that. We did hire somebody, but it didn't really work out. And that's the person I said left on Friday was their last day. And so we're reopening the position for senior DevOps engineer. You should be able to, let me see, it should be available on our jobs page. There you go. Yes, it is currently being um, displayed on our jobs page. So for a senior DevOps engineer, so if you are or if you know someone and you think you would be qualified, feel free to send us an email with your resume, and we'll be looking into that and doing interviews, etc. So we're reopening this hiring position. We're looking for someone who would be able to hit the ground running, would be able to understand things on their own. I obviously will be there to provide guidance, to explain the infrastructure and things like that. But we also have documentation. But hopefully, it's someone that doesn't need too much handholding and is able to really understand many of the basic fundamental concepts surrounding everything with regards to DevOps, system um, administration and things like that. So if you're looking for a new job that is exciting and in the TTRPG, then this is probably the perfect place for you to send your resume. All right. And what else? So there's I'll just talk quickly about some of the changes that we've done in the last month because it has been about a month since the last live stream. Um, so uh, in terms of changes, so we have this new update to the Create Game interface. If you have not seen it yet, it's it was an interface that we had a while back, and we did an update. So it started, a little bit clunky. It got an improvement in 2022, and then again in 2023, and we're still continuously receiving feedback about it, and then updating that. And this is what was updated on April 17. This is slightly reworked user interface. It works much better, much cleaner, and just removes some of the clunkiness that the users complained about. So yeah, it's a little bit neater, and also I believe works better with smaller screens. So yeah, that's a good change that we had in the last month or so. We've also had an update to the user manager interface as well. Made new UI with where is it this one? Not entirely sure, but yeah, UI polishes mostly with regards to that. We've also added the game scheduler. I don't know if you've seen that. Uh, uh, this is not like in the last month, but this is kind of like some of the bigger changes that we've had within last year or so. Um, we've reworked the assets library quite a bit in the last year. Um, you will see just how different it is. Now we also have the collapsible side panel here, which is a nice improvement as well. There's so many changes, honestly. I don't really want to go over every single change. There's a lot of it. Obviously, we are continuously updating the Forge website and adding improvements. One of the big ones is, of course, the changes to the bazaar. Now it loads much faster. Uh, as you can see, it was relatively quick to display packages to do to allow you to browse the bazaar. So that's a very good update in in terms of um, what we've managed to improve within the last year. Um, so I won't get into like all the details, but I think that's kind of like the big ones. Also, the toolbox here can collapse, so that's also a nice improvement. Apart from that, I wanted to show uh, a little bit of the history behind the Forge. Let me just keep an eye on Twitch also in cases of questions. Like to saying that it should have been tiramisu for the uh, banana bread for theological bear. Zlatan's talking about crepes. All right. Um, Yana, that was a great question, Rebook or Nike. Please send the link to that video in chat. I think people might enjoy it. All right. So, just checking. You want to eat cheesecake, Yana? I'm sorry. Oh, favorite anecdote about the Forge. Hmm, I'll get to that. I'll need to think of an anecdote. There's so many different things. Which one is my favorite? That's a really good question. All right. So let's get back into the conversation here about the changes that we've seen on the Forge. Um, so first of all, a little bit of story time with regards to the Forge. The idea of the project started really like towards August, September 2019. So a very long time ago, and like I explained earlier to someone who asked that question in chat, it was really about being able to shut down Foundry and open a different world, just to be able to like automatically switch from one world to the other um, in a way that was workable for users. The big issue back then is that we had a lot of growth in the developer community for Foundry. I was involved in so many different modules for Foundry. If you don't know, I did the Furnace module, I did the Let Me Roll That For You, I did Permission Viewer, which I think now it's called Ownership Viewer. Um, I had, I think, 10 or so Foundry modules. Actually, we can check that out right now from here somewhere, probably. Let me see. Add on modules. And is there a Kakaroto in the list here? Can I search for Kakaroto? Search. I didn't. Let's do this one. Author, and there you go. So Furnace, Permission Viewer, Let Me Roll That For, oh, Polyglot, I forgot about that one, and Pop Out, Trigger Happy, did Beyond 20, of course, and these came later at that point. Yeah, from the Forge module, DL Open Viewport, um, they came later. But yeah, I was very involved in the Foundry module developments, and usually when there were um, suggestions or questions, people wanted something, then I would try and create a module if I liked the idea. And uh, that idea was the ability to switch from one world to the other without like the DM having to remember to go to return to setup. Unfortunately, we couldn't really control that level because you can't have modules in the setup page or the login page of Foundry. So it was basically impossible to achieve it without something like an application running on top of Foundry that can shut down and restart Foundry um, with the dash dash world command line option, which is how you can launch Foundry directly into a specific world. Um, and so uh, from there, that was the spark of the idea. And I wanted to do that. And the only way was with starting this little project, which was going to be like a website, which became the Forge. Originally, I think I was very hesitant on the name, and I think I pitched the idea of FVTT Online or something like that as a name. I had like all sorts of possible names. Eventually, we landed on the Forge, and I started actually writing the code on September 17th, 2019. So I checked the Git log basically, and I worked for it just for like 3 days, I think. Just trying to do like the proof of concept of being able to start and stop Foundry based on the URL you're trying to go to, and that worked. But very very basic. It was also the first time that I was trying to develop something of that sort. And after that, it took a little bit of a break. I was also in communication with Foundry VTT's developer Atropos to kind of figure out how to actually make this a possibility with terms of licensing and things like that. Because initially, I didn't really want people to have to buy Foundry for the full price and then subscribe if they didn't know yet what Foundry was. So I was looking for how can we do like a demo of Foundry, or how can people potentially just rent monthly access to a license without having to purchase it beforehand. But that never really worked out as a possibility. So in the end, the Forge was created, and I started really working on it on February 9th, 2020. At that point, I was just adding like a login page and like the page to configure your game or like select your URL and things like that. And it took about 9 days of me just trying to get something off the ground. And February 18th is when I launched it officially with early access to Patreon subscribers. And you can see this is the post, February 18, 2020. And this is what the page, like the Forge site looked like originally. Like it started like this, and then you had this little arrow here that if you click, just scroll down. And like the actual website started below this area, and that was one of the first comments I got, which was by Kevin, D&D Population Me, that I was talking to earlier in the chat. And he said, "Why do I have to scroll for like 10 miles every single time? Every time I open a page on the Forge, I want to be able to just see my games right away without having to scroll for so long." And that was one of the first changes. But let me show you. Let me show you. There you go. This is what the site looked like originally. This is still like a few iterations further. I think that was from 2021 or something like that. You can see the old logo here. So that logo changed. Originally, I started just using this logo, which was something I received in a humble bundle from Rexar. Um, that I felt like was the perfect image to represent the Forge. Um, and eventually that changed into a logo that we designed ourselves. That was still inspired by that one because I wanted to kind of keep the same look and feel, right? You can see it's very similar to what it is, but it's still also different. And yeah, I just had these, so you can see like the release announcement from May 22nd, 2020 from Foundry as the video, and then I was just like, I didn't really know what to write. um, and oh, we did. Well, was 2021. I don't think we had that yet at the very beginning. But anyway, yeah. Let's see if I can actually log in into this thing. Oh, I remember this. So the login page was this thing where you sign up and sign in were like two different forms that you could switch to with this thing, which I found online and I thought was really cool. And then once implemented, so many people hated it because it looked like it was an ad actually, more than anything. And the anime, it was just like ugly, so people didn't really like that. And eventually we changed it, but it still resisted quite a while before we got a new and better UI for this. Let me see if I can log into this thing. It's probably not going to ask for my two-factor authentication because it did not support two-factor authentication yet. But there it is. So my account, which was just this one big page like that. Um, and let's see my games. I don't think these are gonna work because I did see there was a bug in this version, or more like we changed things so it's broken. But yeah, we had your world, like your tier here with your not assets, your quotas visible here. There was a button. If you didn't have the game manager, there was a button here that said like launch game. But this was like your Foundry. Uh, is yeah, this one does work at least. Um, the bazaar. I wonder what the bazaar looked like. Slow to load, that's for sure. We can look at the assets library as well here, which was also very basic. Um, So that was the old assets library. Not think it wasn't like entirely the original implementation of it, or maybe it was. I don't remember. But there was, yeah, there was one implementation. Yeah, it looked like that. Yeah, I think that was the original implementation of the SS library. And it was not that bad, but it was not great. Actually, no, that was the second iteration. This is the second implementation of the SS library. The first one was even worse. But anyway, so yeah, and then the bazaar looks like this, um, which which is fine, but barely. Um, yeah, again, this is 2021, so this was like 1 year after um, supporting Foundry 0.79. Gosh, and yeah, that was what we had, and after that we updated. Um, we had a few features that we were added. Obviously, we implemented uh, like features that we were missing, like the game manager, the user manager, the save points, um, D&D Beyond integration. We had so many different features that we had been working on for a while, and they started to come out at different times during those first years. And eventually, we also redesigned the whole website um, because it was not that good. I have never claimed that I was a good UI designer, so and it shows obviously. But anyway, let me just check the chat. Oh, I saw a message on chat, but I see Destiny banned users. I think that was spam probably. Yeah, open source developer who is bad at UI. Such a shocker. But anyway, so then we updated the website. Let me just refresh because I just deployed an update. Hopefully, oh yeah, well, let's refresh in here. So you see now that whole section at the top disappeared. That was, a lot of space that we didn't need to have. The bazaar is still a little slow. It didn't change much. This is 2022, by the way. Um, so 1 year later, this is kind of what the Forge looked like. So we can see the games, but you see how long the descriptions were? It was like every line, every row had a different size based on the actual text in the descriptions. Um, and it was just not that great necessarily. So we did improve that. You'll probably notice now how I probably have that like here. Um, yeah, now you have this loading, and then they all have the same size, and then they have these scroll bars in the description. That was a big change that improved the front page, obviously. The assets library, I believe, didn't really change from what I showed earlier from 2021. Yeah, it's about the same as the 2021 version, which is, very different from what we currently have now. What else? Uh, oh yeah, I did have a little anecdote. Um, I don't know if that's my favorite anecdote, so I don't know if Lectu is gonna be satisfied with the answer, but here is an anecdote. So if you look at the original announcement, you see that the site was forgevtt.com, but there is no dash. And so if I go to that, it does actually redirect to forge-vtt.com. So we used forgevtt without a dash for, I think, 3 or 4 months, and then I changed the URL. And the reason for it was I hate the dash. I to this day I still hate the fact that there's a dash in the domain name. I don't really like it. Uh, but uh, people kept complaining. People kept complaining about how this looked like forget.com. And I was like, it's not forget, it's Forge VTT. Like, why do you keep saying forget? And I refused that feedback. I was like, no, it doesn't need a dash in the domain for a while until like 3 months into it. I went to go to like Forge VTT, and instead of doing forgevtt.com, I made a typo or something, and I ended up on Google with Forge VTT, and Google said, "Did you mean forget?" And I was so annoyed. I table flipped and I said, "Okay, I get it now. Okay, I finally accept the wisdom of all the people who told me this looks like forget, not Forge VTT." And that's when I changed the domain to have Forge-VTT to make it much more clear what the site and what the domain is. No, not forget VTT, just Forge VTT. Zlatan, how dare you? um, and so yeah, that was one anecdote for why the domain is what it is right now. Yes, it only took 3 or 4 months and Google to change my mind. So it wasn't so much Google that changed my mind. It was me making the typo and ending up on Google. So like the very fact that I typoed and ended up on Google was already problematic. And then Google added insult to injury by saying, "Did you mean forget?" Um, but I think I just did like Forge VT or instead of VTT or something. Like I missed one character or something like that, so I didn't go to the website and went to Google instead. Um, so anyway, that's the thing. That was one anecdote for why the website is um, using that domain right now. Anyway, so yeah, Destiny. Oh yeah, Destiny does mention the Explorer mode. That was another big feature. That we had the ability to do, and thank you to the Foundry team at Tropos who allowed us to do this by giving us these temporary licenses that we can create. So Explorer mode, if you have not seen it before, um, is it basically allows people to try Foundry before buying it. It's the only way, as far as I know, to demo Foundry as a DM with full control over the instance, and it's super easy to do. It's like I can do it now because I already have an account. But if you don't have a license, if you don't have an account with a subscription on the Forge, you would see a button that prompts you uh, to enable Explorer mode, and I can probably show you a video of it. Um, so if you look at this video, this is basically how you can subscribe, sign up, just like with Discord or Patreon or Google, whatever. Um, you create your account very quickly, right? And then now you have an account on the Forge within 12 seconds. There's no editing in this video, by the way. It's straight up uh, 1 minute from creating an account all the way to launching Foundry. As you can see here, as a Forge user, you can try Foundry using limited time license key, giving you full access to all Foundry features as well as the Forge Game Manager features. And so yeah, if you just click Try Foundry now, it explains to you what Explorer mode is and gives you a license key for 1 hour, which you can redo as many times as you want with a cooldown period in between. So once you click on that, you have the ability to create. This is the old create dialog. As you can see, it's a little different. And from there, you can just launch your game. You can invite your friends to it. You can do whatever it is that you want to do, and that's it. The game launches, and it tells you here that it will expire and be destroyed in 59 minutes. Um, Basically, it's very simple, and that was, I think, a huge boost also for Foundry because people were now able to try Foundry before purchasing it for the full price. Um, and that was another feature that I don't remember when we added it, but I think that was that first year. Um, yeah. Let me see. Guts McGirt. Hi, just tuning in. I'm someone who is on the fence still about getting a membership. Figured I'd come in and see if anything tips me over. Hi, well, welcome. We are currently celebrating the 4-year anniversary of the Forge. So I've been mostly talking about kind of like the changes that happened in 4 years. But I think what I've just shown you is probably a good example of what you can give it a try. You know, just create an account very quickly, very easily, and then you can try our Explorer mode, which will let you try out both Foundry and the Forge and its features very, very quickly. And then if you like what you see, then maybe that tips you over. Yeah. So that was Explorer mode that we implemented on top of like all the other like game manager, user manager. What else did we do? We do have the workshop here that we added. So D&D Beyond integration, of course. Oh, we added internationalization a little over a year ago, I believe. And now we have a few different languages that we support officially. I know that not all of them have been fully translated yet. But yeah, we have the save points feature, which was added, I believe, only last year, something like that. LiveKit servers. LiveKit was interesting because I never planned on having LiveKit servers as part of any plan. Um, but I remember like most people used um, the Jitsi, I believe it. Yeah, it was Jitsi that was the sort of SFU mode um, audio video conferencing that a lot of people used, and then Jitsi blocked the public like free servers to 5 participants maximum, so it started causing issues for people who had a group with more than 4 players plus DM. And so LifeKit was found, and Bkit, a developer in the Foundry community, did the LifeKit module for Foundry, and they had their own servers as well. And a lot of people wanted LifeKit servers, and I decided to just deploy those to give that ability to users to still have, you know, a great um, audio video integration within Foundry. And from there, you know, it just became, because of how costly it is on servers and things like that, just bundled that with the world builder tier to just give them one extra free feature more or less at that tier. The Forge Compendium library was really cool. Most of the work was done by Iron Monk, and you all know Iron Monk from his amazing modules for Foundry, and he did a really great job on the Forge Compendium library, which allows it integrates a lot with our D&D Beyond integration. So if you import your content, you can browse the compendiums so much more easily with that. Two-factor authentication was, I believe, almost 2 years ago that we added it. Yeah, and that's our workshop. Couple of things still in beta, D&D Beyond integration and the internationalization, and we're probably now working on new things that we haven't announced yet that will be added to the workshop at some point soon and will become alpha or beta at some point as well. Let me just catch up quickly on the chat here. This trial method is legit what convinced me to get Foundry. I've been running games professionally from it for months now. Yeah. Yeah, I guess my main thing was that I owned the Foundry account and all the mods, but my friend GM in with me as a player and wanted to make sure it was pretty easy to handle that. Yes, it is definitely easy, Guts McGirt, to do something like that. So you can have, you know, your games with whatever your players are, etc. So I can see like my players here and I believe the user manager is enabled here. And yeah, I can just click and demote someone to player, or I can promote them to game master, and they'll automatically have um, the that role within Foundry. It changes it automatically. If like the game is running at the same time, they'll change automatically. And of course, you can also, if you don't have the user manager, if you don't have access to the feature, because that's at the storyteller tier, you can also do that from within Foundry to give them GM uh, uh, permissions and things like that. Debating buying the 1 year storyteller tier. Go for it. It's always easier to pay once and not have to worry about every month. Is the payment gonna go through or not, and are you gonna get like interruption of service or anything like that? It's also you get like 10% or 12% or something like that off when you subscribe for the year. Obviously, if you don't have the full amount of money available to you, then yeah, you can. You can remain on monthly. Let me see. Okay, so if I miss a session, they can still have it going without me. I just need to make sure the game is active through Forge. Yes, Guts, McGirt, you shouldn't need to be there necessarily. If you're missing the session, we do have in terms of our terms of use that if someone else is GMing that you need to be a player or a co-GM or something like that. If you miss a session, that's not really a problem. What we really want to avoid is someone having a totally independent game GM'd by someone else and just using their account, which is basically account sharing. So that's the only prescription, whatever. It's the only thing that we don't really accept in terms of use. But yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. And with the system that we've put in place, games are always available. Unlike, I believe, other hosting services where you need to manually start and stop your games, this one you can see is idled. Um, you can stop it, like this one is stopped, but anyone accessing the URL, as long as they have been invited into the game, it would launch Foundry. Um, uh, yeah, you paid for this stuff, it's yours. So yeah, as long as they access the URL, it will launch Foundry for them automatically. And even if you have like two different worlds and they are GMN only on one, they would only be able to launch Foundry on a specific world, not any world, and things like that. So yeah, we do have a pretty sweet system in there. And probably Destiny can send you a link to YouTube video about our game manager feature. But yeah, this is our Forge channel on YouTube, which has our Forge live streams, but also tutorials and things like that. And with a recent hire, we're gonna have more of these soon. You'll start seeing more and more tutorials being submitted. Um, but yeah, there should be a tutorial somewhere about uh, the game manager and the user manager and how it works. I'm sure that would be of interest to you. All right. Let me see quickly where I am in my actual plan for this live stream because I've been talking for a while now. Uh, talking about the bazaar, talking about the assets library. I'm not going to get into the details of it. I know that Destiny wrote some notes for me to go through here with regards to like the assets library and the bazaar, the various changes that we've done. I'm not going to go into too much detail because it has been an hour and I tend to talk a lot, but you can all clearly see the difference on the assets library with the new UI, with the new, the ability to have list view, to change the size of the preview icons and things like that. You can, the biggest change is the ability to share your access to your assets library with people. Um, you can manage your shared folders, basically kind of like how Dropbox, you can share folders with people, and I can also just go looking into folders from people who have shared their content with me and things like that. So really, really big improvements in terms of how your assets library is being handled and what you can do with it. I know a lot of people just look at um, managing their assets from the file picker inside Foundry, but they don't realize that they can do, searches on, a specific folder or the entire assets library, for example, and things like that. You can copy files, you can select a bunch, you can move them, copy. Um, and this one should tell me that I can't paste. Is it working? All selected assets already exist here. That is a good point. So I can, yes. I thought it was going to be a prompt, but it actually doesn't let me drop them. Yeah, so there's like all sorts of improvements to the assets library. I think the biggest one is really the ability to have shared folders and access shared folders that other people sent you and things like that. And you can also do that from within Foundry, which is also pretty cool. But I think this user interface is still really, really good. We are working on bringing this user interface within Foundry as well. I think that's going to be a big improvement for users. Yeah. Let me see. Theological Bear saying, I don't know how you all did it, but I noticed it runs so much smoother than other providers. Even with modules, none of my players have lag. Um, I'm happy to hear that. I'm not sure what we did specifically. We try and make sure that performance is always good. And it's for sure been a challenge considering just how big our user base is and how complicated all the parts in infrastructure are. But yeah, I haven't had any issues either for my games. I know that some people do and complain that it's not working for them the way that they expect it to, and most of the time, like 99% of the time, it turns out to be a module issue that's causing them problems. And yeah, it runs pretty smoothly for most of our users. I'm happy to see that that's your experience as well. Um, Let me see. No more questions, I think. Oh, Theological Bear, you hoed and prayed for the asset library to get previews and list view. Yeah, I mean that was when 6 months ago, a year ago, I think, that we added that. We've had I think this is version 6 of the redesign. So we've done it in various phases, and this was basically version phase 6. I think phase 6 is the one that added the shared folder support. I think phase 1 added the list view and the preview size, which you can change obviously. In both modes, as well as changing the sort, etc. Um, yeah, that was something that a lot of people wanted. So it's it was fairly quickly prioritized. It just took a little while to get it out to people. And you have Erenziel to thank for that. He did an absolutely amazing job taking over the assets library code and just rewriting it nearly from scratch to implement this new and not only beautiful but very usable interface. Um, yeah, and that's yeah, that's a big difference from this one, which didn't have much other than new folder and upload. Um, yeah. Apart from that, the bazaar obviously has changed a lot as well. You can still access like the old one from this link here, but yeah, now it's a lot more about having tags on content. If you want, where would I find like if I wanted something like adventure, there you go. So yeah, if I want an adventure, I can enable this tag here and I just get adventure packs basically. Um, so a lot of work went into searching, very powerful search, by the way. So you can really look for what type of things that you're looking for. So like a Christmas adventure, and you'll see um, uh, specific content relating to those tags. Um, and yeah, we've reworked how it looks. We've done quick filters. We've added the presets here. We've done a lot of changes, and we're currently working that should be released very soon on a new sort algorithm for relevance, so you can more easily find content of diverse creators, more recent releases also going to the top alongside most popular content, avoiding um, a lot of the issues that the currently more or less dumb sorting algorithm is having. So people will have a lot more ability to find content that they're looking for. And yeah, also, if you purchase something and you haven't installed it yet, it should be at the top of the list so you can quickly find it and install it instead of having to search for it. And yeah, a lot of improvements like that. Uh, Nice DB reference username. Oh yeah, Dragon Ball. I thought database. Yeah, Kakaroto has been my my nickname since 2001, I believe. And that was, that's another anecdote that I can share. Um, University absolutely destroyed me. The amount of sleepless nights that I spent just studying for exams and things like that um, was, you know, it was from my viewpoint beyond the capability of a human being. And I was watching Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT and all of those back then. I was a huge fan, and what really pushed me was seeing how Kakaroto, the character, Son Goku, was pushing himself beyond his physical limitations just out of sheer willpower in order to like save the planet. And I felt I was doing the same thing, just pushing myself beyond my breaking point out of pure willpower in order to, do my exams and like all the stuff that I needed to do for school. And so I adopted that nickname and it's stuck ever since. That's how I got the Kakaroto nickname. um, all right. Another shared anecdote, which Lectu might enjoy, even though it's not Forge related specifically. Um, and Yeah, I think that that's about it on that front. Let me see if I had any other notes. But I believe I said most of the things I wanted to say, and I showed you like the evolution from the first release all the way to the more recent website changes. Um, and I will now give Destiny a chance to show you um, something a little bit different. Usually we do like a bizarre showcase of three uh, three uh, bizarre packages that would be interesting. But today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to try and build in 10 minutes or so a sort of one-shot kind of thing using content from the bazaar. So I'll let him explain all of that. After that, we will do the drawing for the gift card, right? So if you just joined us, weren't aware, or just forgot to do it, you can type hashtag anniversary to get a $50 gift card for the Forge, which you can use towards your subscription or towards content on the bazaar. Um, and we'll do the drawing after that. Um, there's only 12 entrants right now, so you have like almost 10% chance of getting a $50 gift card. Well, now I guess we have 15 total people. um, as Guts McGirt and Rebulius just joined. All right, and let me switch to the Discord scene, and we'll do a Q&A afterwards, by the way. If you have any further questions, we'll do that. And now Destiny's face is right there for everybody to see. Hello, Destiny.
Hello, Kakaroto. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. Other than feeling a little bit sick and tired, but I'm feeling better. Uh,
I'm very glad to hear. Very glad to hear. Well, today we're going to be doing something a little interesting. I've already started the screen share. So today, instead of showing off specific packages on the bazaar, I want to show you guys how to make a quick adventure on the bazaar. Oh, turn up my mic volume? Sure. Let me.
let let me see. I think that was because I lowered the volume on the desktop audio when we had that YouTube video with the trivia music. Can you say something now?
Does this sound good?
I think I think that's the proper volume.
All right. Sounds good. There we go. All right. So let's get started. We're going to be building an adventure today, and we're going to be using Bazaar content on sale. In case you haven't heard, we're doing an anniversary sale, and we've coordinated with over a dozen creators on hundreds and hundreds of different packages that are being sold on the Bazaar at this moment. And today I want to show you guys how you might build an adventure from random content on the Bazaar. Now, I'm obviously not saying you need to buy this stuff to make an adventure. Obviously, you can't just go buying stuff whenever you want to make something. But I find for special occasions or when I need inspiration, I might just go browsing through the bazaar to begin making stuff. And so today we're going to be doing that. Our goal is to make an adventure using content on the bazaar. So we'll be getting maps, we'll be getting token art, and we'll be getting music. So starting first, I'm seeing here two maps that are kind of interrelated next to each other. We have two map packages by Bearworks that, looking here, looks to have some pretty interesting stuff. It appears to be a planar portal with different variants for each plane. I like this. This is pretty cool. So we're going to be so I think I'm going to go get it. Now normally I would add it to my cart and then check it out. Today we have a special account to just install it quickly. However, this content is on sale, so if anything you see here interests you, you should go check it out. So we'll go ahead and install that. So we have a planar portal. So I'm obviously immediately thinking, let's do something planar for an adventure. From there, let's go ahead and get an elemental layer as well. So we've got the maps, and basically what I'm thinking is we make an adventure where the players have to go to like an elemental area and deal with some monster. Maybe they are assigned it by this local church here, by the people in the Cathedral of the Sword. That's interesting. Maybe it's like a war cleric church, and they're waging war against planar invaders. So now we have the mission assignment place where the players find the plot hook. We have the place where they'll go to enter the planar area, and then we have an elemental lair where they can confront the monster in question. Now we need art. So I can scroll through here, and as you might see as well, there's quite a few adventures on sale. So if you're also just looking for adventures to run, you could pick these up. They're pretty high effort. We actually recently did an interview with Mammoth Factory Games, for instance, and Rugholt we've done both an interview with, and he provides services to us. So make sure to check those out. But today, I'm making this stuff here. Sometimes you might not have an adventure that quite suits your needs as well. Like maybe you want to make something of your own, or you need it for a system like Pathfinder 2nd Edition, which is a little underserved. So I'm looking here, and we've got an Ancient Red Dragon versus Karask. So it looks like it's a token pack. So we'll go ahead and enable that as well. So we have the tokens for the adventure. We can add in a red dragon for the players to fight. We have the maps. Now all we need left is some music. So let's go ahead and filter for Michael Gelfie, because he is taking part in the sale and he's sure to have something that suits our needs. As you can see here, most of his content is on sale. Oh, Kakaroto, there's some crackling on your end.
I just unmuted my microphone. Maybe that's why. I just wanted to add, like, if you don't know Michael Gelfie, then you're missing out on one of the best, music composer within the tabletop RPG space. He has a lot of amazing tracks that just work for so many different um, adventure themes.
So we have here Biomes Theme Value 1, and it's on sale for $9.50, which is pretty good. And there's some long tracks here. Like each song is 8 minutes long. If you set this on loop, your players might not even notice with how long it is. Yes, Michael Gilfie does have a free sample module you can check out as well, and I cannot more recommend it. You think your adventures are good? Put music backing to them, and it just brings it so much higher.
Yeah, it
So
makes a huge difference when you have perfect music for your stuff. That's like, to me, it's a big part of the um, sort of immersion aspects for my players.
So suddenly I have maps, tokens, and music ready to go. So from here, I can just get started. So you'll need to restart the world once you buy content and have enabled / installed it. And then you just wait for the world to launch. I should have probably launched this world first before doing this. This is a newly generated world because I want to show how fast it is to get started once you've gotten this started. But it's taking a little bit to spin up the new server, I see. Uh, there we go. It always takes a little bit to launch on the first time. So it's going to download and load all that information. We get this nice loading bar, which was also a recent addition to the Forge, I believe in 2023, right?
Can you repeat the question?
I believe the loading
2023
bar
when we
was
did?
actually added in 2023, correct?
Not sure if it was 2023. I think that was one of the early things that Iron Monk had added, and he joined us in 2022, I believe.
So we'll go ahead and
Yeah.
enable Bearworks here, and we'll also enable the Michael Gelfi theme. And we've also gotten Forgotten Adventures already enabled. It's an asset package, which means on the Forge, it loads instantly. So we enabled both of them, and we wait for the world to reload. And it's as simple as popped up here. We got to close all the module pop-ups, and then we just pull up these stuff. So let's go ahead and first start by importing the playlist. Let's give it a listen to for inspiration. I think we want Infernal Convergence because we are doing a fire map, I think. So it's going to take a second to load. It always does take a second. And then we will go ahead and import some. I like the idea of a generic hellish planar portal. And then the idea of like an elemental plane of fire. And there's a dragon here. So let's first go ahead and toggle navigation for both and check out both of the maps. All right. So we see this, and my first impression is it's very good and it's very ominous. Maybe the players have to go through a volcano map that you also create, or you just narrate for your players. And they've gotten this far and have to descend into the crater of the volcano, where a volcanic ruin links a portal to the elemental plane of fire. It's ominous. You could have a guardian here or something that will appear, or maybe some invaders will pop out that have been invading who the players will have to fight. Just listen to that music. It's so good. I hope I'm streaming the
Incredible.
audio for it correctly, because it's just
I'm
you can
definitely hearing it, yeah.
and look at this. Like, you could tie it in. Like, let's see if there's some good like default weather patterns too. So like a weather effect, not by the looks of it, but there is a wonderful module I would recommend. I'm forgetting the name of it, but there's a module that has a variety of free storm effects that appear over here, and you enable them, and you can add stuff like smoke and embers, so you could install that one and just get some nice smoke and fire going, and it'll overshadow your players' tokens, where they'll maybe feel like Bob. I can show you an example with just rain real quick. Maybe it's like raining and like there's steam falling around everywhere around the players. A fog would actually be better, probably. There we go. That's almost like smoke. In fact, it looks very much like smoke,
It
especially
does.
with the map overlay. And we'll go ahead and change Bob's appearance real quick. So we'll go ahead to. I do have some useful images, so real quick we can just go to. I believe it was under tokens. There we go. Nosferatu. So you get a better idea. Look at Nosferatu here. You can see the smoke just flying over him. And it's just, there's good fire everywhere, and it's so juicy, and there's walls, and just, it all looks so good. He like climbs up here. Man, look at this. And then once your players have fought through, yes, FX Master, that's the name of the module. Thank you, Rabulius. And then once your players have fought through, they land in the elemental layer of fire. And it's just this beautiful, gooey, nice, awful fury location. Like, clearly hostile to mundane life from the normal plane they come from. Or at least normal to them, right? Because to the monsters that live here, this is just home, right? Of course, any good lair needs a dragon, don't you agree, boss?
Of course.
So we'll go ahead and import a dragon. Let's say a young dragon, only CR10. And if
Only
you've
young? No. Needs to be ancient.
And if you have ever run a dragon in PF2E, by the way, it is brilliant. The dragons are so much fun to run in the system. So we'll go ahead and navigate to the red dragon one. And we have quite a few options to choose from. As usual, Forgotten Adventures goes way overboard with the variants they have. Let's do an orangish one, like an orangish red dragon to kind of match the appearance of the settings. So we'll go ahead and save that and then just drag it out. It's a little small, so let's go ahead and make it.
I told you to get an ancient one.
You did. And look at this. There's this massive map with plenty of cover options. Like maybe the players just get spit out here and suddenly they're surrounded by a lava island with a dragon that not only has an aura, these boys, of course, have breath weapons. So suddenly your players have a variety of tactical challenges. The dragon might fly as an action, and then breathe fire where they're at, and suddenly they've got to make DC 30 base reflex saves. They have to bridge to other terrain to split up, or maybe they like want to all get to the peninsula here to like fight it out in more even ground. Maybe the dragon comes swooping in and starts dropping them in lava just to really troll the players. If you thought Darth Vader didn't have the high ground, wait until your players get dropped in lava. And it's just, and so I hope I've stressed, like, you've got this beautiful music already, you've got these maps. And while obviously it does cost money, and I know money is always tight, sometimes you have a little money to spend, and I want it to be clear that the bazaar exists to save you time. You can make these maps yourselves, you can create art, you can prep all of this. You might even have some Patreon subscriptions to some artists where they have a map that's kind of right, but not quite, and you can make do. But sometimes it's good to just spend money to really spoil your players or to save yourself some time as a DM. And you can never really get back time. So I hope this has been helpful to you. And I think I've shown some of the power of what quickly purchasing this content can do for you in terms of expediting your prep. I mean, look at this.
Absolutely.
There's these walls here. Like, we have wall height automatically enabled, so if you want to enhance it even further, maybe you set like walls up, like you see here, like, but with the modules they have wall height. So let's go ahead and just highlight all of them, right? And we'll give it a wall height of 20, so it's like 20 feet above the lava. And so looking through the dragon, actually let's drag on Nosferatu. So looking through Bob, these walls down the lava, he's just burning and he doesn't see over the walls. But at 20 feet high, he can suddenly see over it. Just nice stuff like that exists, and it's stuff you can iterate on after the already base setup exists for Foundry VTT. Anyway, that's it for my showcase. Thank you so much, Kakarot, for letting me do this. I always have fun showcasing the capabilities of the Bazaar and how it can help players.
My pleasure. Thank you for doing this, and I do agree with you that it's just so easy nowadays with Foundry and with the content that are available to make something quickly and just provide a really great adventure for the players. And you mentioned, the content being sold on the bazaar. There's also, a lot of free content available as well. And for those who had their gift cards, they can also use that to get some of that those paid packages from the bazaar. And now is absolutely the perfect time for that, considering that we are running the bazaar sale to celebrate the 4th anniversary. So now would be a really good time to go and get some of that content from the bazaar. Thank you, Destiny. That was great. And now the next step in our live stream is, drumroll, the gift card, $50 gift card drawing for our giveaway that you will be able to potentially win. Um, we will just let those who have not yet uh, entered, um, uh, giving them one last chance to type hashtag anniversary in chat in order to uh, be in the drawing for the giveaway. All right. And so, without further ado, let's get let's get people their win. Let's get one person their win. All right. So as usual, I will do the drawing uh, publicly. So drum roll. And hey, Lucas plays. Uh, you won the $50 gift card. Hopefully, you are still here. You are. And so you won the $50 gift card um, by being the the big winner. Um, uh, Random draw from Mubot. So thank you for participating and congratulations. Um, I believe you had also a $10 gift card earlier from the trivia, so you get 60 full dollars to spend on the bazaar or to use towards your next subscription. I don't know if you were the one who said earlier you were hesitating about switching to yearly storyteller subscription, but if that was you, that those gift cards can definitely be used for that, and that should help lower that initial cost. All right, congratulations, and thank you everybody who participated in the giveaway, and thank you everybody who came to listen to me ramble for an hour and a half. Well, not so much ramble, but talk about the history behind the Forge as well as the evolution within these last 4 years. So thank you, everyone, for being here and for participating. And with that, we are going to switch to our Q&A session. So if anyone has any Q&A questions for us, then I'll be happy to answer that. And uh, just laughing at Lucas's comment. Let me get the lottery ticket. Yeah, it might be a good idea for you to do that. And yes, Lucas Plays 111 is the lucky winner of the $50 gift card from today's giveaway. So congratulations again, and I'll let Destiny send you that giveaway gift card. Um, I hope everybody got their cards. Destiny, if you can just confirm later that everybody was contacted with the gift cards that they were promised. All right. So thank you. I don't know if we'll have many questions today, and we'll see. Just waiting now for questions. That's McCurd. Does the Forge force any updates to my mods or the Foundry system? Mostly asking because I got some mods and systems that take a while to update. I usually wait a solid month before updating Foundry. That is a great question. No, we do not force any updates on anything for you. As an example, I will switch again to the view. You can see that I have a bunch of packages that need to be updated. I have not updated, for example, the D&D 5e since 3.0, I believe, right? So it's still at 3.0. And you can also just deselect, and it will lock the version. If you don't want that version, that specific package to be updated, you can also just lock the version, which is very useful if you have like custom modification, for example, on a module or a system, and you don't want it to get updated because your custom modifications are lost. Then you can do that, or you know that a later version has a bug, for example, you can certainly do that as well. If you look also at This is just me trying to sell you a bit more on how awesome the Forge is. If you have, for example, let's go for like system D&D 5e, even if it was updated, let's say I just updated mine to 3.2 and then I regret the decision, you can always go to the bazaar and you see version to install and you can just select which version you want to be on and then you can just downgrade it that way. Just go straight to the version that you are most comfortable with. And by the way, when you do the import wizard, when you import your content from your local foundry into the Forge, with the import wizard, you select your data folder and it will just import everything. All the modules and systems it will find, it will install the version that you have. Not like if it finds D&D 5e, it's not going to just install D&D 5e. It will install D&D 5e version 3.1.2 if that's the version that you had installed locally. And if it's a version that we don't have on the bazaar, which shouldn't exist, but if it's like a custom package, etc., then it will import it as a custom version. That works without a problem. As for your actual Foundry version, you can select. So actually, in the game manager, you select your Foundry version for all your games here. So you can go all the way to 0.8.9 at the moment. Um, they will probably obsolete that version at some point, and you can also override, though we do not recommend it. You'll see why. So if I switch, it will give you, like, it will explain why having a version on different, like if you have multiple worlds, they should pretty much all be on the same version, though you do have that ability to override the version of a specific world. So it's useful, for example, if you're on version 11, build 3.13 and you want to try 3.15, you can do that without like updating everything. But we wouldn't recommend like V10 and V11 on like two different worlds, because the modules and systems are shared between all the worlds and some will not be compatible with all the versions necessarily. So that's the only sort of caveat there. Uh, but yeah, we do, like I said, we obsoleted some older versions, but we know that some people are still using version 0.6 of Foundry. Even though it's not available here, it was when they made their account, and now they just get a warning when they launch that says that version has been uh, obsoleted and they should update. But we don't force it upon them either. I'm someone who does not believe in forcing choices on the users. That's why you'll see, if they switch to a new version, they can't go back to the older ones that were removed from the list. But as long as you don't, then you can stay on whatever version of Foundry you want, or a version of your modules you want, and we're not going to impose anything on you. So that was really a great question, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to answer it. Um, let's go back to the Q&A screen. Let's see. Hopefully that answers all of your questions. Um, Usually, yeah. So with regards to V12, and that goes to also the question from Dinesh, who asked if there are any V12 issues on the Forges side. There aren't any big issues. I believe the only issue right now is that V12 changed the file name for their debug logs, because now the logs are going to be rotated on a regular basis to keep the sizes small. So if you go on your on the screen here and look like view Foundry logs, you're not going to get the log. You'll get the logs from V11 basically. And we are currently working on a sort of selection so you can choose which Foundry log you want to access, because then you'll have like 0.0, 0.1, 0.2, something like that, as it's rotating for the last 7 days or something like that. I don't remember the exact details of the naming. I think it's not 0.0, 0.1, but like dates potentially in the file name. So that might be um, how it is. So you'll be able to select which file you want to open and view in our log viewer without um, uh, without issues. But it's currently not available because it is V12 specific. But I don't believe that's a critical issue right now. So we'll probably be releasing V12 available on the Forge within the next day or so, maybe next Monday. I'm not exactly sure on the actual decision making on that front. Um, but I don't really see anything to prevent us from doing that. No big problems. We did a lot of testing of V12. Um, and we haven't found issues that would prevent it from releasing it. This is very good, very very good because V11 had a lot of changes, especially as some of you know, the database system had changed, and that caused us to delay the release of V12 on the Forge for a few months until all of the issues with it had been resolved and until our own support for the new database format was fully uh, done. So let me see more questions. So the theological bear saying, if I may have one, if offered, would you all like to do a promo with Start Playing? Kind like two startups that would work well in a promo together. I know about Start Playing. I have not contacted them. Um, we did look into having a LFG uh, partnership a while back with a different startup, but that fell. Unfortunately, didn't go through. Um, I don't have really contact with Start Playing, so I haven't reached out or anything like that. But it would be a good idea. I don't know if they have ways to incorporate, like to integrate with an API that we could use, but it's something we should look into. We do have a list of features we want to get to. LFG is one of them. We already have a looking for groups in our forums that people have been using successfully for a while. Um, and yeah, that's about it. Give me a second, just checking messages in Oh, oh, okay. All right, all right. Just checking some news. Um, so what we are going to be doing is we are going to redo the drawing for the gift cards. Um, just checking because I believe we just noticed that Lucas Plays, the winner is actually one of the new staff members who joined us last week, and we didn't realize that they were the one uh, on the chat. And I think just for being fair, uh, I don't think that a staff member should be eligible to win any kind of gift cards within our giveaways or anything like that. And we didn't realize because he was using a different username last week, and he just changed his username today, and I didn't notice. So thank you, by the way, Destiny, for noticing and for realizing that there is definitely an issue here. No, I don't believe that he was trying to cheat. That's not what happened. But I know you're just kidding. But yeah, I didn't realize that he would win, and yeah. Okay, so putting this back here, I denied him the gift card, and we'll draw a new entrant. So yeah, more excitements for anyone who missed out earlier. Hopefully, you didn't leave as soon as the giveaway was done. But we'll draw a new entrant for the giveaway, and hopefully someone else will get to win it. And Krogard, not following, that's fine. But Krogard, who joined the giveaway earlier. Hopefully they are still here. You do need to still be here in order to claim it. Oh, I'm not streaming my actual screen, so there you go. Just just gonna do this. All right. So I've drawn in Krogard. Is Krogard still here? Doesn't look like they are here, and I don't believe I've seen them interacting in chat either. All right, I'm just gonna give it a little bit more, a few more seconds before drawing another one. 3, 2, 1, and sorry, Krogard, but you did not get the chance to claim that. So let's draw another one now. And it's Lectu, and we know Lectu. Lectu is probably still following. And Lectu is the winner of the $50 gift card, assuming they're still here. There you go. Lectu, of course, is still here. And Lectu is the winner of today's live stream giveaway for the $50 gift card. I know you're always here until the end. So thank you and congratulations. Um, all right, let me just catch up now on the on the chat. Destiny will get your $50 gift card. And sorry about the confusion. And yeah, while we're at it, Lucas, by the way, is our new QA hire, and it turns out that his username is Lucas Plays 111, which I didn't know. But yeah, we hired. So when I said earlier with the trivia question of how many employees we had, it was 15. The newest hire was Lucas from last week. Um, and yeah, that's it. Congrats, Lectu again. And now we'll switch back again into Q&A mode. And let me see if I missed any other questions. I think last we were talking about V12 availability, right? Okay. Oh yeah, start playing. We'll look into like how we will do the looking for groups. Sometimes doing a collaboration with a platform that has good support for the feature, like Start Playing, um, is really the best way to implement something like that. All right, next question or comment from Guts McGirt. Savage World official mod said to wait a solid month or until notified before updating to V12 because 12 broke a bunch of stuff in their coding. Oh, I didn't know they broke anything in Savage Worlds. That's unfortunate. But yeah, between major releases, always wait for a while, but also always check the compatibility of your system and major modules. Obviously, you don't need all the modules necessarily to be compatible with the new version. But if you have modules that you cannot live without, Dice So Nice is a very popular one that people can say, oh, I can't play Foundry without Dice So Nice, or sometimes like the wall height earlier, if your map depends on wall height for determining the various conditions of play, then checking that wall height module has been updated to V12, for example, would be a very good thing to do before doing the update. Yeah, so definitely wait and definitely check. The biggest issue is new users who go on the Foundry website after release and they download the latest version, it's V12, and they don't realize that, not all systems and modules will necessarily work properly with that. So that's why we need to have V12 support earlier rather than later, because some users just start with V12 straight away. Yeah. All right, so let me see. Rabulia saying, I really like the module version management in the Forge. It would be nice to be able to test a new Foundry version while leaving previous version for live games, but yeah, most people will use their local PC just for testing, that kind of thing. But initially, I really wanted it to be used for that purpose that you said, being able to test a new Foundry version, etc. It was just unfortunately unexpected that so many systems and modules would be breaking in between versions, which made that not as practical, unfortunately, once Foundry releases have become uh, stable at that point. Yeah. Lucas says, "Sorry about the confusion. That happens. Not a problem." Um, Thank you for raising it. And as Rabulia said, congratulations on the job as well. Yeah. Congrats, congrats. And I'm all caught up on chat. All right. So, any other questions? Anything someone wants to ask about the Forge, about the 4 years? What's the best thing that has come out of creating the Forge? Oh, wow, that is a beautiful question. The best thing that has come out of creating the Forge, I would honestly say, the people that I have come to meet. Um, both in terms of the general public, general users, but also like the moderators, really, great people who are sharing of their time, volunteering to help out in Discord. I love all of them for all the, very appreciative of all the efforts that they provide. But also all the staff members, all the people that, I never imagined myself as um, owning a business, as being a boss or anything like that. I still don't really see myself as being a boss, but the reality of it is that I am. Uh, but all these people that are working for the Forge, I've gotten close to them. I've learned about their lives. I've learned about um, who they are as people, and we've connected on so many different levels um, in terms of uh, you know, uh, basically created these bonds and friendships that I think will last forever. Um, and I think that to me is really the best thing that has come out of Creed in the Forge. Um, yeah, I'm very appreciative of everybody who has helped make the Forge what it is, and that includes the beautiful staff members, the moderators, as well as the users. Very, very appreciative. So thank you to all of you. Thanks. Yeah. Great question, Lectu. Thank you for that. Any other questions? I'd be happy to answer. And if there are no more questions, then we can end the stream now as well. It has been going for nearly 2 hours then. So, yeah. All right. So unless a new question pops up at the last second, thank you everybody for being here, for following, for being faithful users who have made the Forge a success by just, you know, uh, using it and enjoying it and providing feedback in various forms, and for being here with us to interact with us during this live stream and to celebrate the 4th anniversary with us all. So thank you all who have come, and I hope we get to see you again at the next live stream, probably in a month or so. And there are links to various social media that I expect Yana will be posting. So if you want to keep informed, there you go. Yana, right on time. Um, if you want to keep getting informed about the updates on the Forge and join us for future streams and things like that, then make sure to follow, subscribe, or whatever it is. Join the various social media platforms that you use, and keep an eye out for announcements from the Forge, and hopefully what we're cooking for you and the 5th anniversary next year will have a lot more new awesome stuff to go over and announcements, and yeah, yeah, 4 years, wow. All right, that's it for me. Thank you everybody, and see you next time, and cheers.